Give me one moment. Hello. Okay, boom. Yep. Don't share it yet. Let me upload the picture right now. Hold on. Uploading the picture right now. Let's get it, baby. Ron.
Yeah, I'm here. Until you
Yep.
tell me, I ain't doing it.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we back again with a few of my compadres. Um, you know, when we say a few of my compadres, we're talking about the guys. And the guys who we love so much. My brothers from another mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't put nothing before them. You feel me? And I never put another nigga before them. You know, it's me, Prince Hakeem. It's your turn now.
Hey, you already know it. This is your man, King Ron's in the building.
And it's your boy, the new Jordan Arrow. I'm back at it. Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Fellas, how y'all been doing since our brief hiatus? I won't say a brief hiatus. We have been working. You know what I mean? Everybody been working. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's all good over here. You know, soon we starting the process of the vending machine, and then we head up to New York next week. So I'm excited. So that's my plans. What about y'all?
Same thing with you. We trying to monopolize. Taker's monopolizing. You know what I mean? I've been sparkling watering up. You know what I mean? Trying to stay hydrated. You know what I'm saying? Praising the Lord. And trying to stay hater free.
Same here.
You know?
Here. I'm right there with you, man. Same as right here with you. Just out here grinding, trying to do things, trying to make things happen, you know? But it seems like today we have a serious topic today. So I'm like, man, I'm like excited about it.
You want to know something? This is a topic I think it affects every one of us, you know, people who we love or somebody who we married, you know. And I have a lot of people who I love this topic affects. And this topic undermines a lot of people as well, you know? And I don't know, like where should we start at with this? Like to make this more understanding for people, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like and it sounds like I'm going off on a little bit, like I'm not making sense. When things like this are so serious, you want to try to be careful in the context that you talk about these things. You feel me? Because I have a sister, and people, if you could look at me, I'm a dark-skinned fellow. So you know what I mean? You know what I mean? We come from the mountains. I have a sister that's dark-skinned. I have a beautiful niece that's dark-skinned. I have a sister-in-law. And quite a few other people who I know who are a bit dark-skinned. And we want to talk about something that I don't think women have heard actual men sat and talk to let women know that we understand where you're coming from. We as men don't really affected by it because we have a blanket of things that goes on with us. But compared to women, this stuff affects them in so other way, especially from a mental standpoint and an emotional standpoint too, you know. There's certain things we could talk about, like the paper bag test. You feel what I'm saying? The image of beauty that's been promoted to women every day. These wigs, these blonde hairs. We can start it from a number, but I want to dissect this from a T, and then I want to share a personal story on a reverse situation about this too. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if any of y'all brothers want to go first.
You can go ahead. I'm gonna wait on you because I want to hear what you got to say.
Okay. Now, luckily, I grew up in a household that had a love for being Black, and we had a Pan-African mindset. So colorism was never an issue for me. You know, I've always loved dark-skinned women. It's to the point where I love dark-skinned women so much I couldn't even bag them because I was too dark for them. And I know that might seem crazy about that, but it seemed like that. But to see and hear the ignorance that I hear brothers talk about dark-skinned women and see how the landscape of how society treats them, it does make you wonder where this start from, how this come from. And it all goes back to the system of oppression and racism. We can talk about that. And we already know that because we're still facing that. But to say that you have guys here who are Black men, who are dark-skinned Black men, are rejecting dark-skinned women as they're not like the creme de la creme. You feel me? Even to the point to hear the term just, oh, you're pretty for a Black girl. That's very disrespectful. Oh, your skin is so smooth. Like Black people's skin ain't never been smooth besides the cocoa butter. You feel me? The only thing I try to understand about colorism and stuff like that is trying to understand it from a woman's point of view to understand how to want to know what she feels like. And, you know, unfortunately, we don't have that. But from the outside looking in, I could see where there's a big issue, and I could see where it can cause a lot of people to feel some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? To be thought as being less than of, to be thought of not being as beautiful. And even though there's a bunch of us who say that you're beautiful, they go and do the opposite. I've seen people who pretend to be pro-Black and have light-skinned baby mamas. Isn't that ironic? Most of the pro-Black dudes right now all got light-skinned baby mamas, with the exception of Brother Polite, but he had got caught up. He had got caught up with some light-skinned joints. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering, and this is something that I tell for brothers when we go through this, and for sisters, if you see there's a problem, it's one thing to address it, and another thing is to circumvent that energy into something else where you can start to see some actual results. and having these conversations that first and foremost, I've always dated dark-skinned people. That's never been a most, you know what I'm saying to say? I date my people periodly, you know what I mean? The love I have for black gold goes beyond, it's to an obsession, as to say. So to deny a woman because she's darker than you would just make me look at you as a sucker ass dude. Kodak was one of them dudes who said he didn't want to date nobody as his dark skin complexion. You know that's self-hatred. Self-hatred is brooded into not liking the woman that God made specially crafted for you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say I don't understand when people say, when a lot of these dudes will choose, you know what I mean? I say, hey, it's just more for us. It was just more for us. You know what I'm saying?
I have a question too. I thought about that too. And I couldn't realize it. Us as, light-skinned men or dark-skinned men will date, a dark-skinned woman. I don't know why. Like for me personally, my wife is dark-skinned. I love chocolate. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I prefer. And there's a couple of friends of mine, I never got it until it's like, what pops in my mind of there's some of my friends that that dated dark-skinned women, and then they never had a great experience with a dark-skinned woman. So I'm thinking it's okay. What environment are they in of an environment pool of what they're dating?
Yeah.
And talk to some of my boys, they to me they want to date a black woman. They want to be with a black woman. But there are some black women, who can, doesn't exert that full femininity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's like, just when I saw my mom is super duper feminine, you know what I'm saying? So I saw my mom, it's like, okay, if I date somebody, I want somebody to be feminine as my mom. You know what I'm saying? It was light skin, dark skin, whatever. As long as I find some feminine with my mom. And what I seen of when I was a teenager, I used to date white girls at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I was kind of in an environment. I went to private schools. I went to charter schools, so I was going on going more in my environment until when I went to high school. Started going to public school, which is majority black. Okay, now I'm in a predominantly black school, a public school with a black environment and everything. And so what I'm trying to say is, I can say for men, there's sometimes it's like they do want to take a black woman, they want to be with a black woman, but I feel like some men that kind of see what's in their environment, and I feel like sometimes they don't think out what's outside of that environment of seeing if there's good black women who are who are feminine, who wants to date and everything. So I feel like sometimes for men, they just see what their environment, but now looking at, okay, go outside of their environment. Maybe go to another city or go to another state.
You're right. I want to touch on something you said earlier, because I think that's a point we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
If a lot of black men say women don't exude femininity, is that what you said earlier? Yeah? Or
yeah.
Now, is that reserved to dark-skinned women or all women of color? So that's the point of saying, do they associate women of not being feminine as being the ones who are a lot more darker or louder and rowdier? Or is it the light? Because I've met some light-skinned girls who do not exude no femininity.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I met some light-skinned girls who was the most sluttiest, who had a sense of entitlement because a lot of things came their way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And a lot of it, listen, and I met some, so that's why I want to know is that non-feminine that non-submissiveness, is that associated with dark-skinned women? Because I don't, you know what I'm saying? Because I wonder, how did they get that?
And this is like, I will, if any woman on the chat, say something about that, because I want to hear it from a woman's perspective as well. Yeah. If a woman got any questions, or Hakeem, sing a link, if any woman that wants to come by, talk about it, give us a one perspective about it, that would definitely work as well.
Yeah, okay, definitely. We want a dark-skinned woman.
Or a light-skinned woman too.
Or a light-skinned woman.
Yep.
We want y'all to come. I'm gonna drop the link. We want y'all to be able to come in here and let us know. And let us know your trials or tribulation, or your view of colorism, or the effects of it, or how you're dealing with it, and stuff of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
But back to your question, you did gear up a good point. So for me, I have seen any shades. You get what I'm saying? Any shades. It's for me, it's hard because, like I said, I'm married to one, so that's you know what I'm saying. It's just trying to look at, and I never put myself into I always put myself into a good environment. To me, I always put myself outside of environment. There's good everywhere. You know what I'm saying? When I was in Miami, I noticed there's something good here, or LA, there's something good here. Back in Michigan, there's always something good here. So for me, I always have a good perspective of women. There's good women, any shades of any shades of color women. There's good women out there.
No, 100%.
And there's some that are not good. Okay, there might be some, but I know to me they're not getting. To me, I don't think they're getting talk about enough. You just hear more negative than positive.
Yeah, and there's instances where we could talk about and see how certain people was left out as far as feminine. Do you remember Estelle? Estelle was a singer from out of London. She was dark skinned, beautiful sister, short haircut, could sing her. She was they singled her out because she was dark skinned with big teeth.
Right.
And I thought she was gorgeous. You know what I mean? I thought her and Nicole Ray. There's a lot of these sisters who was that. So the thing is, but one thing I want Black women to understand and to put a picture on is that Black men do not control media. So the image that was portrayed to a lot of us, because don't get it twisted. Growing up, I did hear and was raised, and I did hear a lot of people who associated beauty with lighter skinned people. You know what I mean? That really didn't affect me because I've already came with a background of love for your people as all shades of color. Particularly for me, it was darker skinned women. Now, mind you, I'll show you something too. I lived in Massachusetts. First, let me point this out. My first ever girlfriend was darker than me. My first ever girlfriend was really, really darker than me. And I say her genes were very, very strong. And I loved the hell out of her. You feel me? You know, you've been in Miami. We have some of the most beautiful dark-skinned women down here. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm talking about people that have been painted by the sun. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, so when I look at it from that perception is, I can understand where that ideology is pumped in certain people. You got places like in Dominican Republic who practice colorism to a T, and Brazil.
And in Haiti.
And in Haiti. Listen, Trujillo, who was a light-skinned half Haitian, who was the Dominican president, he wanted to exterminate dark-skinned people off of the island. That's what hatred he had for light-skinned people. for dark-skinned people, excuse me. But the thing about it is, where do we get that rooted in hatred? And how did black women, darker skinned women, are associated with being non-feminine, unruly, non-submissive, not ready to marry? I'm just trying to figure out who tagged that. I know black men ain't do it, because ain't no black men control no media.
True.
No, but remember, it's like you stated earlier, is by what they are portraying on the media. Social media, books, magazines, television, movies, anything that, because remember, people go by what they see. So, like, for example, for us, growing up, you look in the history book, the first time when you see a dark-skinned person, it was either they was enslaved, bounded, no good, nothing's going for themselves. That's all they is. There's a piece of trash. So we kind of got that image in our head. So when the first thing a man see when it comes to a dark-skinned woman, he pretty much see her the same way that he portrayed that he see it in the books or in the television, that, okay, she's not going to be submissive. She don't really have nothing going for herself, which is not true. Now, I say this not, then mind you, this is not the only thing that's facing the black community, because they go through the same thing in the white community as well, and all different ethnic groups. So it's just not only just in the black community that there's colorism. It's all over the world. Like you said earlier, Hakeem, it's in Brazil, it's in Thailand. It's everywhere. They just have a bad image of blacks, period. If you're a dark-skinned person, they consider you to be a curse.
Yeah, 100%. Hey, what we said, the curse of Ham?
Yeah.
So a lot of y'all people must think, you know what I'm saying? But the point I want to get is this. And I'm contemplating this, and I'm trying to contemplate this on a good note. It got to the point where they even associate darker skinned women as being the most promiscuous. And the funny thing I noticed, I've never known them to be that promiscuous as a word. That's a free for all for any woman. You feel me?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
But we do know that there's a negative stereotype attached to them. Now, the main question is, what can we do to combat the stereotype, the negative imagery of darker skinned women, colorism and stuff like that plagues them, to says that, oh, she didn't get the job because she was a little bit darker or she was a little bit lighter? What solutions could we do that? And how can we educate our young brothers who are feed this type of knowledge at a younger age, where lighter is better?
No, but it's not only that, is a lot of coaching from the parents, and also they have to have a better image of themselves. Because if you walk around here and you have low self-esteem, and you're not in a high self-esteem like everybody else, people gonna have a image of you. Okay, that's just how they are, and that's how they could be, which is not necessarily true. So they have to have a better image of themselves. It starts with you first, and then the universe and everything around you changes. Everything starts with you. So most people that is dark skinned, we know it not to be true, but the stereotype out here is most people that are dark skinned tend to be dirty. They don't keep themselves well kept. Women too, they don't put lotion. They're always ashy. They call them crispy. It's all these names. That's what I'm saying. All these names they throwing at them. But now if they have a better image of themselves, there's no name out there on it, because they'll be like, okay, like, for example, I'm just using that example. Like, look at what's that guy's name? That famous actor that's dark skinned.
Idris Elba.
Yeah, exactly. You see, he's dark skinned, but his image is so heightened that people look at him and say, no, this man's one of the sexiest man alive. He's well kept. He's well groomed. I want my son to be like him. A lot of women say that. You get what I'm saying?
No, you're right. I want to make a comment. Shout out to Jabari. He's in the comment section.
Go ahead.
Jabari said, in Western civilization theory, where dark skin and dark women are the lowest value. He also said, while lighter complexion people are the highest in the totem pole, there's a negative connotation with darker skinned women. He said, my opinion, darker skinned women are the most trustworthy. He said, I can't count how many red bones and light skinned women that broke my heart. And he ain't never lied, baby.
Yeah, because remember, it's women. It don't have to do with no skin complexion. It's just who they are as an individual. You get what I'm saying? So,
one of it. Now, mind you, I want to put out another point. Shout out to Jabari for that. Should we get mad when a darker skinned woman who is considered not attractive to a lot of brothers, should we get mad when she goes over to the white boy or the Asian boy or the Indian boy, the Ganges River brothers? Should we get mad when they go over the other side when they're looking for love? I want to ask y'all brothers that question.
For me, it's a no for me. I have no problem with it. You know, to me, I can't even question it, you know, because, you know, there's too many black men out there who's out there who's single, and, you know, I don't get it. For me, I just don't get it, because I've been with my wife for 12 years.
Yeah.
And like I said, she's been my ride to die. So I can't answer that question.
No, me, I'm with Jordan. I don't think we should get mad, because if you have other races of man treating you better than your own race, who am I to judge and say, you know, they should date their own kind? If they're trying to date their own kind look at them as less than, and say, oh, I don't want to date you because you're dark skinned. I want to date the light girl because the light girl is more better, or she looks better, or she's better in the bedroom, and all these other stereotypes. Go for it. You know what I'm saying? It's not fair for a woman to be single out here if a man of her own race don't even want to see her as a queen or someone that he want to build long term.
Facts.
Yep.
Facts.
Like, for example, we can even use this example, like Martin and Gina. Martin and Gina from the Martin Show back in the days in the 90s. You saw everybody kept saying Gina was the better looking one, but in actuality, Pam was the better looking one.
Woo! Yes, she was.
Pam had the better dress. But I'm saying, in our image, when especially me growing up, you see, oh, she was red skinned, so you're like, man, I want to date a red skinned girl because of Gina. Because you don't, but then when you really get older, you look like, wait a minute, Pam was the baddest one out of the group.
She was the best. And listen, she aged so gracefully.
Mm-hmm.
She did.
Hey, y'all remember the show In the House with LA Cool J?
Yeah.
Y'all remember the actress, Maya Campbell?
Loved her.
Yep.
She, to me, when I saw her, I was like, yo, to me, that was the baddest chocolate woman I had ever seen.
Hey, Jabari even said he said he was programmed to believe that Gina was too fine.
See, that was saying it was a program systematically for us to think like Gina was fine.
Remember
Living Single? Living Single, you saw what's her name? The black skin one was a lawyer. She had things going for herself.
Erica Alexander.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's not what we pray. And mind you, remember Good Time back in the 1970s when Good Time came out, you saw it was a black father with a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Dark skin. Remember, he was dark skin. Holding the house down.
Yeah, Elsa Rose was a definition of a mama.
Mm-hmm.
She was a definition of a mama, definition of a woman who was educated, a woman who protected her family. She was going to college. She was held out of family. Now, mind you, I want to even bring you something that I want to say what all black women do, but particularly you see darker skinned women do. When a crusty ass nigga go through some shit, who do you see by his side? Listen, when that boy, what is that boy who was running for governor of Florida? That black boy?
The guy that got in the motel room.
In the motel room. Hey, listen. Andrew Gillum. You know he has a beautiful, Lord Jesus, dark-skinned sister, dark-skinned wife. She was right by his side when he had the nerve to say out his mouth he think he bisexual. Lord Jesus. Brother, she was holding his hand tight. She got 2 kids with this man. She always dresses nice, always got the baddest purses on, earrings on fleek, hairdo on fleek. This idiot had the fool to say, I think I'm bisexual. So that's one thing that I want to put out that I see our sisters do. Now, I am going to say something because I got to be very objective too.
Go ahead.
Sisters, not knowing that our sisters are plagued. And I do want to comment this too. I got to point this out because Jabari, he's dropping some hits in here. He's dropping some hits in his comment. He said something that I've heard this 100% said about Black women growing up. Everyone in Florida is called ugly. I've always heard Black dark-skinned women called ugly growing up in Florida. Tell me if that's a lie. Stop me and tell me if that's a lie. Now, point, wonderful. The point that I want to say is this, and I say this about Black businesses. I say this to this. When ladies, if you see a problem, you feel me? We know colorism is a problem. It's a serious problem. We know colorism is stopping a lot of you ladies from getting jobs. We know colorism is a problem which not making you deemed the most sexiest amongst the men that God has promoted for you. You have to take things in control and not care about that stuff. Am I wrong, fellas?
Yeah, you spot on.
When I tell brothers to go create their own enterprises, start their own businesses, and don't cry or banter when the white boy don't give you no job, because that's his job. He has a right not to give you no job, regardless if we're in America and we here. You feel me? He built that for his own people. Black women, I've yet to see y'all got together and started a dark skin magazine, a dark skin clothing line, a dark skin things that promote women of color. You feel I'm trying to say? Black women, when y'all gonna start wearing the blonde wigs? I had to go there. I'm gonna have to go there. That's European. That's not promoting your Africanness.
Hey, remember? Do we still got the? Well, this happened in the '90s. I always loved doing it. Jet magazine.
Yeah. Oh,
that was a big promoter right there.
That was a big promoter, and Ebony too. But Ebony they're not really substantial in the force anymore. Who owned them?
Exactly.
You feel I'm trying to say? They used to, matter of fact, Jet used to have it where you used to see the girl in the swimsuits, and they had all shades of women in there. You feel me saying? But if darker women want to be a representation, you know you're gonna have to build your own house to represent yourself. Same thing Black men have to do. We all ganging up to start our own media company. Don't get me wrong, we're gonna do our work. We're gonna make sure we're gonna promote darker skinned women, women of color in general, but mainly darker skinned women. But the fight just doesn't lead with other platforms. If there's a girl out there, and I can say this too, just like they have the Miss Plus Size Model of America, why don't we have Miss Dark Skin Model of America? Am I wrong? If you want a representation, why don't we have that? If you say there's not enough darker skinned women on a TV show, create a TV show that has nothing but dark skinned women in it. Stop me when I'm wrong. Nollywood has it.
Is Tyler Perry doing that? I'm sorry, I don't know why Tyler Perry.
Listen, he's a subsequent. Listen, unconsciously he practiced colorism.
Yep.
Unconsciously,
but because of the image is saying like is portraying that okay, the lighter you are, the better. It looks good for TV.
But this is what I'm trying to say. If women want to see dark-skinned women represented, because really it's mainly the darker-skinned women that we're saying that does not get represented, because brown skin tone women are not passed up like that. Lighter skin tone women, it's the one that are dark. We're talking about black gold. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, I call them black gold because I stare when I look, and I'm like, damn, she fine. Mm-hmm. But let me ask you a question: if it's that much of an issue, why don't you start a modeling agency for darker skinned women to get cast in certain places? Mm-hmm. Create the industry for the people who are being misrepresented. Go get funding. Trust me, if there's a will, there's a way. Listen here. I bet you any amount of money.
Did he freeze?
Yeah, he froze. Give him a second.
Okay.
At first, I thought I froze, you know?
Yeah, me too. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
The first time, every time we freeze, the first thing we do, we mute our mic.
I don't know.
Yeah, you gonna come back in.
Okay.
I don't know why it's weird.
Yeah, I was gonna say something too once he get done, because I see some stuff in like in LA, like in the Lamar Park, Inglewood sectors where I see stuff like that, but generally in that community, which is really cool. I want to talk about that once it get done.
And right now we're still live. So go ahead, we still live right now.
Okay, so going back to what Akeem was saying, it's like, when people think of LA, they think of Hollywood, the beaches, Malibu, all that type of stuff. And there's like, certain areas in LA, which is, rich, Hispanics, all that type of stuff. But I don't think people really don't know the Black community in LA. And it's just something different. It's just so organic. And it doesn't get talked about as much, and I wish, it would be talked about more and people could see it more. And I don't think a lot of people that visit Los Angeles, they just, they visit the tourist spots like Hollywood, West Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Malibu, all that type of stuff. But I feel like, we need to mention more about, going to Lamar Park, Inglewood, going down Crenshaw, because there's so much rich and history in Los Angeles of Black people that I definitely found out, and it definitely surprised me. It's a lot of rich history of Black people in Los Angeles, especially like in that area, and I feel like it definitely needs to be talked about more. And I'll tell you this, Issa Rae, she talked about this one time about how it's not getting talked about enough, and I call her Miss Inglewood because she went out with her show Insecure, where she had 5 years of it, on that Super Bowl week, she got the key to see Inglewood, because all the so much stuff she was showing of Black history of in Inglewood and Lamar Park, all the type of stuff that she showed on her show and everything. And everything I see in that show, show off for like Black culture, That's exactly how it is, and what I see. So, well, Akeem was talking about all these like modeling agency, all that type of stuff. I can see that in the area of Los Angeles. It's just not getting talked about enough.
No, I'm agreeing with you. It's the same thing. Like for someone like me who enjoy going to the strip club, you see two different things. Like when it comes to women going on stage, the light skinned woman will get more support than the dark skinned woman. Literally, you will see that everywhere you go. I don't know how it is in LA, but I know you could see the difference. Like when it comes to the light skin, the dark skin. At first, I was skeptical of the fact of them, the way people treat them, and they really do. They treat them totally different. The light skinned woman get more promotion, get more opportunity. As the dark skinned woman, she suffers the most. She will get looked on compared to the light skinned woman. And so it's the image that they put in our minds since young.
Right.
So we've been literally programmed, like Jabari said earlier. We just been programmed, and we just been following through the program every single day. And I would say the only way it will change, it got to change with us. We just have to reprogram ourselves and to get more and more educated and say, okay, all the stuff that we was taught was wrong.
Yeah, and also talk about to our kids as well, so we could program them instead of somebody else's programming them. Because it's definitely start. If we can start with the kids and make sure we talk about them, because once they get older, it gets a little bit more harder to kind of change their mind about it. And if they do, they gotta unlearn what they self. You on mute, Ronnie. Hey, Ronnie, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Oh yeah, my apologies. Yeah, it changed because it's just what we were talking from young, and especially us growing up in the hood. The first thing they always said, like, the lighter the better. Better in the bedroom, better overall, and it's not necessarily true. I would say as I got older, I started changing the way I think towards darker skinned women and towards women in general. Like at the end of the day, all of them are women. Doesn't matter what skin complexion they came in. It's just that's the skin complexion that was created to be. It's just, are you going to live life with them or are you going to enjoy with them? Either or, you have to make the choice for yourself.
Exactly. I definitely agree with that. That's definitely very important.
Yeah, and I know you also have a darker skinned wife, so I want to say, in your point of view, how can she tell you the difference when it comes to her and her life? Of course, she's not here, but from you, like what stories have she told you about her working environment and stuff like that?
I would say it affected her more into school, high school. If I can remember, it's like of her dating situation and everything. And I would say when we lived in Miami, definitely with her job and everything, not light versus black, but it's more of a for in the kitchen, it's more of men and women, who could be the best and everything. But it kind of affected her like in high school in a way, but not really in the college, I would say, because that's when we was friends and we started dating and everything. But but she really doesn't talk about it now. No, so ever since we moved to LA, it was she doesn't get that feeling. She's just proud to be in black. It's like she don't think about it no more.
That's good. That was just the reprogramming, and not only that, but for you to encourage your wife as well, because I know she get a lot of backlash, from other women and others in society as well. Because I was it's just an ignorant teaching we've been taught.
Yeah. And that stuff like that, we kind of stay away from that, it's kind of stay away from that area that around that stuff too, and also, she continue to be self-aware as well. Always be self-aware. So
that's good. That's just crazy. And when I came upon this subject, I was just listening seeing different women on YouTube that were talking about colorism, and I had to do research on that too because I didn't know the definition of on colorism was until when I actually did my research, and it was talking about the fact of you know, how they literally pick and choose who is more suitable for life.
Right.
Literally. And then that's the sad thing.
Oh, Ron, you're breaking up a little bit. Uh-oh. Shit, I'm the only one here. Hey, guys, give us a second. We're going to try to fix this. 1 second. 1 second, guys.